Okay, today is Friday, May 24th, I think, somewhere in there. Could be even later. I'm guilty of not knowing the date. But I wanted to document everything here before a stretch of sunny, hot weather, like in the 80s, is coming in a few days. So now is the time to get everything when it's still very green and lush. The roses are starting to bloom, and we had such a wet, cold spring that we definitely have some major issues with that fungal condition called black spot. I've done some neem treatments, but it would rain like the very next day, and it's been hard to keep it on the leaves, to be honest. It's just been raining so much, but everything is still blooming. But I noticed the plant is not looking quite as robust as it could, and it probably has something to do with the weather and it being such a cold, wet spring. But it's beautiful, and I'm not complaining. The lettuce is still going strong. I need to harvest again. I've gotten, I don't even know at this point, so many harvests. I trim off the outer leaves, and that's been great for my lunches. I make salads for lunch at work every day, so it's been a great supplementation to the romaine that I buy. The chamomile experiment is very interesting. I'm learning a lot. The center plug, the thickest part was a transplant that I had done with tons of seeds. I never thinned it out. And then around the edges, I had broadcast seeds to see how those plants would do. And what I see here is that I think it's time to split this plant. I'm seeing yellowing, and I think that chamomile has very small seeds, but the plants get pretty big. I have one lone chamomile plant in a planter box over here behind me, and it just is very good for me to see the size of a single plant. And you can sort of see, like, that's one plant down there. So they need space. And this is definitely overcrowded, so I may dig all this up and separate out some clumps. Look who's here. And maybe put this around the yard in different places. So, hi, buddy. Checking things out? Hi. Oh, sweetheart. I'm helping out with him today. His mom and dad are out of town for the day. They'll be coming back this afternoon or around dinner time. So I just let him in for a snack, and he's hanging with me. My seedlings are doing really well. I gave them larger pots this year so that it would buy me some time, because as you can see, my beds aren't ready yet. I have clay soil that requires quite a bit of tilling. I know that's not really great for the soil, but I have to do it or else it's just like bricks. So I'm in the process of getting beds ready. This board on the right-hand side where the bricks are needs to be replaced, so I have a piece of wood ready for that, and same with the end here. I need to replace that board, so it's slow going, but I'll eventually get there. And in the meantime, the seedlings are okay. They have enough room in these pots for a little while longer. I'm watering them with fish emulsion, so I'm keeping the nutrient levels up there for them, and everything's looking great. I won't go into everything I have here. I've done that in other videos, but I'll just get a little close-up here of some things. I guess I'll name a few things as I go. Peppers, thyme, tomatoes, excuse me, peas. There's that one chamomile plant. That was one single plant, so you can see they do need space. So that's really good to know. All my onions, a mix of red Weathersfield and Hashiki walking onions, green onions, I guess. All this is marigolds except one sage plant there in the middle. They're probably the most ready to go in the ground. I've been clipping off buds and blossoms on these plants for weeks now, so they're ready. I have my zinnias on the left here, and some cucumbers and some cosmoses. Cosmos. Everything's doing well there. This tray also is ready to go in the ground. On the left we have the parsley and the spinach, and in the middle I have the Swiss chard, and on the right hand side the kale. I've up-potted my spearmint, and I'll probably up-pot these again once they outgrow these little pots, but for now they're good. I did the same with my catnip, which is looking a little droopy. And what I've noticed at this time of year is that it's aphid time. When the weather finally gets warm here and humid, before the summer really sets in, the aphids sort of like descend. And when I bring my seedlings in at night, I take some time excuse me, to pick the aphids off of my plants, because they like to go for some of these tender leaves, and they will make your plants shrivel up and die, so you really have to watch them. This whole tray is giveaways. I'm probably going to make a sign that says free and put these out front of my house. They're all tomatoes. They're either Mexican Midget or Gardener's Delight, and they were just extras that I had that I didn't want to kill. And I did buy these little round cups in the hopes that I could give them away. They were very cheap. So this is just me paying it forward, and hopefully someone else can have some tomatoes. I missed the window on these guys back here, the kale and the Swiss chard, but I've been harvesting leaves off these plants. They have sort of bigger pots, but they really should have gone in the ground like a month or two ago. I just didn't have the time to get my beds ready, and honestly it was raining so much I couldn't even work the beds. They were just sopping wet mud, so that's fine. I still get some leaves off of those. My foxglove is bloomed and in all her glory right now. I couldn't be more thrilled about this plant. I'm sort of obsessed with it right now. I don't think I've ever grown anything quite as amazing. I grew this from a seed. It's been growing for me for 2 years. This is a biennial plant, and I think after this bloom, I think it's going to die. I don't really know. I think they do die, but it's just so gorgeous. I've seen foxglove around Portland before, in people's yards. I've never seen one this big. This is one plant. And for anyone who followed a previous video where we had a snowstorm in, I believe it was April, late April, it like smashed this plant and broke one of the flower rods. I thought it was a goner. As you can see, it is not. It's really, really stunning. So happy that that worked out. I feel very lucky. Is somebody hiding under the chair? Hi, buddy. Hi, sweetie. What's going on? He's a good boy. I shouldn't let him do that, but I don't have the heart to stop him. This is the Shasta daisy plant. It also probably could be divided and spread out in the yard a little bit, and I just haven't gotten around to that, but eventually I will. For now, I've been watering it with fish emulsion, and I'm going to let it go. I don't think I'm going to have time to separate this out this year. I just bit off a little bit more than I can chew with all those seedlings, so I'm trying to take one thing at a time. Anyone who gardens knows how that goes. But it's fine in there for right now. That butterfly bush also got damaged in the storm, and I had to take down all of the branches. As you can see, it's like unfazed. That plant is coming back in full force. So, you know, I learned something with that storm, which is, you know, things bounce back, and hope is not lost, that's for sure. Oh, there's one last thing. My little lupine fence garden here. I thought that this little plant on the right-hand side had died, but it did come back. It's not as strong and robust, but maybe after another year or two it will rebound. I did put copper rings around the bottom there with like a little protection, and it's really helping to keep slugs and bugs off of these plants. I noticed last summer they really got hit hard. Here's the cat again. But this is what I'm really wanting to say. Oh, hi, Bobo. Watch out. Let me move his butt along here. Watch out, buddy. There is a bloom down here. Can I get this to zoom in? I really can't get it to zoom in. But this cat is very needy right now. In any case, you can't see it clearly, but that is a lupine bloom coming out, and I am like over the moon excited about that. Again, with these plants, I've been growing them for 2 years, I believe, and so this is the first bloom I'm seeing. And the plant is looking really well. I'm using a tomato cage on this year, and it's really helping to keep it upright. And healthy, so yeah. I wish I could get that to focus, but it's not cooperating. Okay, we're getting some love eyes from Bobo. Hi, buddy. Hi. Yes. And I think he's playing with some bugs. I think I'm gonna get inside and work in the kitchen today. I've got some bone broth to make and then chicken soup, so I won't be able to spend much time out here today, and it's supposed to be a pretty rainy weekend, so I think I'll just do kitchen work, and maybe on my next weekend off from work I'll spend some time getting the garden beds prepped a little bit more. It's going to be a process. I'm not going to get it all done at once, so as I find the time I will get a little bit done here and there. Okay. And on that note, over and out for now. I always forget that I have these other seedlings going in the garage here, so I thought I would add a little add-on to the video and show what else I have going on in here. Of course, you gotta have some flowers. For me, sowing the flower seeds came later, after the veg, and I've got quite a bit going on here, way more than I need. I had a damping off situation that took out my second planting, or my first planting, I don't even remember. I've done so many plantings of different things, but in any case, I lost a lot of flower seeds, and so went way overboard because I thought, oh my gosh, I'm not going to have flowers, and I learned a lesson there to not overplant, but now I have too many, so I'm going to have to narrow it down a little bit. But what we have going on, we have a mix of things. So over here, I've got my basil coming up, which is imperative. This seed is a pincushion, and I seeded this pretty heavily and only got one to germinate, so I'm pretty sure the seeds I have are on their way out. They're not very viable. And this cell, I believe these are, oh my gosh, I don't even remember. Okay, they're teddy bear sunflowers. They're all teddy bear sunflowers, and then I tried to plant Mexican sunflowers here and they didn't germinate, so my seeds were bad. It's been a while, so I don't think they're coming up. Over here, this column here is lupines, more lupines, and then these two rows are wildflowers, so I'm not sure what's coming up in there. They weren't, I'm not 100% sure. I think the packet might tell me, but I got a packet years ago and planted them now. I wasn't even sure if the seeds were viable, and I have some things coming up, so I'll be curious what they are. I want to say these look like lupines. I mean, they just happen to be next door to the lupines here, and so I think they are lupines. So over here I had some seeds that also were not viable any longer. I tried to grow some zucchini here in these rows, and moonflowers, seeds that my mom gave me and seeds that I saved, and they did not come up. So the seeds I don't think were viable any longer. However, I'm still holding out a sliver of hope. But yeah, I don't think anything's going to happen there. Over here, these are all zinnias. And over here, these are all cosmos. Up here, again, we've got more cosmos. We've got more zinnias. Now you see what I'm saying. I have way too many. These were my runts of my catnip, and they're actually making a comeback. In the back there are some cosmos, and these are zinnias that I pricked out and gave their own pots to, because I'm trying to save a couple choice plants so that I have viable candidates to put into the garden. So that is a goal for the next few days, to continue doing that. Somebody's coming in to say hi. And at the store the other day, I picked up these coated pink tomato cages that I'm super excited about, even though they were marked incorrectly and I overpaid my $2. So that's a little bit of a bummer, but I do love the color. Okay, so on that note now, that is everything I have going on here. And I'll keep you all posted. Over and out for now.